Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the festive season is upon us, and we are back for the final episode of the year of the Piledriver podcast. I'm the best in the world, Mike Allen. Next to me is the homie Stabby Vince, and down low is Tony Forge. How is everybody?
Not bad. Tired.
I feel it. Me and Vince are on a weekend-long bender of wrestling. Tommy in the chat. What's up, Big Tommy? The BBC has graced us with his presence. Yeah, man. It was a wild weekend. We started off going down our nice little adventure down to West Virginia for RSW, and we finished it in New Philadelphia.
For Powerslam.
StreamYard's playing with us today.
Yep, they're playing with us hard.
It is.
Yeah,
we got to see
the StreamYard's. It's playing with us, so
it's like end of the year. All right, let's
just bomb it.
Yeah, right. Got to go in West Virginia, so I think it's working. My little the emblem logo, whatever that said the Wi-Fi was not working properly, went away. So maybe it's good now. Hopefully. We started off, we went down to, like I said, Clarksburg, West Virginia, Harrison County Parks and Rec Department. Vince's first time in that building. Now, I wanted to tell you, what are your thoughts on this venue, Vince?
It was a great venue. I really like the open window layout. I like that you walked in above the ring, so you could kind of see a little bit if you walk to the edge by the windows by the elevator. But yeah, it was really cool, really unique. Just kind of a really cool venue.
Yeah, no, like I said last time, I totally love that venue. I feel like in a fall setting with that backdrop behind the wrestling ring would be a beautiful picture, man. Like just nice oranges in the mountains of West Virginia. It was real pretty. Tim put us a stacked card out. We had 10 matches on this card to end the year for Grinch Mania.
What a name.
I mean, it was
Mania.
So something was going on with, it was originally called Krampus Mania, and something happened, and we had a little bit of a Grinch, so we had to change the name.
Had some backlash.
Yeah. So let's get right into this. Like I said, we'll go over a couple, but there was a couple big things coming out of RSW Grinch Mania that need to be addressed tonight. And, hopefully Tim will be watching. He'll let us in on what he plans on doing. And, we'll see. We started off earlier. We had a couple pre-show matches. They had a couple pre-show matches for the fans. We had the tag team of My Two Dads, which is consisting of Paparazzi and Frat Daddy, going against Paulie Kilpis and Cody Gray.
Cousin Cody.
Look, it's going to do it again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, you called it.
We ever had a drop stream before on the pilot?
It's doing it again.
I don't think so.
It's weird. I'm getting it in the top. Like again, it says it's connection. Maybe I have to rewire some stuff, but maybe the Wi-Fi is not good tonight, which would be a first for me, but it is what it is. We'll power through. Yes. Tim is in the chat.
What up, Tim?
So yes, we had Paulie and Cody Gray going against My Two Dads, and if you have not yet seen the team of Paulie Kilpis and Cody Gray, it is definitely going to be one for the record books, and the tag team division of RSW needs to be worried. Great match all around. I guess the caveat for me in this one is maybe that's the wrong usage of the word, but Cody Gray picked up Paparazzi for a power bomb. And Paulie came off the top rope like Doomsday Powerbomb. It was a little wild. Like, as Paulie came off the top with the clothesline, Cody went down to the powerbomb. It was a solid tag team move for these men, and they were able to pick up the victory here. So, I mean, like I said, tag team division on RSW needs to be put on notice. The Golden Boys specifically, who are your current RSW tag team champions, gotta watch out for Paulie and cousin Cody.
Oh, for sure. Lots of shades of demolition there. Those two big guys just destroying things in their path.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was a little wild. I know he's in the chat watching, and we'll talk about the other pre-show match. We did have JP11 going 1-on-1 against Pastor CeeLo.
The good one.
Nice.
We did, announce last week that it was supposed to be Onyx versus CeeLo. But as the rule in wrestling goes, the card is subject to change. Something was going on with Onyx. We're going to send our prayers out to him, though, and we'll leave it at that. Everything's good. So just, prayers out to Chris Onyx, but he wasn't able to make it. So JP11 stepped up and took his place.
Oh, yeah.
Put on a banger of a match with CeeLo,
JP's
in
great.
my opinion. Like probably one of the best matches I've ever seen JP wrestle.
Nice. Yeah.
At one point he went for a move, or CeeLo went for a move, and JP was able to reverse it and just straight muscled CeeLo up into a Falcon Arrow that was beautiful. Like it was beautiful. He wasn't able to walk out with the victory, sadly. Pastor CeeLo able to pick up the W. And it was, great way to end the pre-show. Great way to get the fans ready for the main card coming up. The house was packed.
Very much so.
Tyler Jacks in the chat saying JP versus CeeLo was super dope. And Tyler Jacks also had a match against Anthony Rucker. We're definitely going to get into that. Tim agreed, says it too. JP killed yesterday. I mean, they did great. So super proud of both of them dudes going down, putting on a show, especially in West Virginia. Yeah, it was just great. First match on the card, it was the number one contendership for the RSW Heavyweight Championship. We saw after the match, it was Dominic Dallas Star versus Brandon St. James. And these dudes went off. I mean, obviously something big's on the line here. This is how the card started. Number one contendership, Dominic Dallas Star versus Brandon St. James, who I'm not that familiar with Brandon St. James. I do know he runs out of 880 in Pittsburgh. He was there the night before. So, he 2 matches in a row, or 2 nights in a row, he went out and put on. These dudes killed it. Dominic Dallas Star able to walk away with the victory here, able to secure that number one contendership. And then later on in the evening, he was able to talk to our boy Vince, get a little promo and get a little talk to stabby Vince about what his plans are with the upcoming year and what how he plans to go now as the number one contender for that title. And Tim said it opened with the promo for the main, but we didn't see that. I didn't see that on the stream. It was probably on the stream they had running. I didn't see that promo. So that's I'm sorry. I saw the matches.
That happens.
Match number 2 was our very own Southern Sinner Colt Johnson taking on Gen Z. This was a great match, man. I mean, I tried to be festive at this match. I tried to come out with a cool black and white Santa hat on. It matched my referee gear. It was cool. Gen Z wanted to be a party pooper. He took my hat. He kept snatching it off my head. He threw it out of the ring a couple times. Colt was nice to go get it for me the first time and bring it back in, put it back on my head. And Gen Z was like, stupid hat. Took it and threw it again. So,
not a nice guy.
In the chat, this guy. In the chat.
Man.
In the chat, Gen Z hates Christmas.
Christmas ever do to you, Gen?
Of course he hates Christmas.
Yeah, of course, multiple times he snatched the hat off my head. Just very, very Scrooge-like of him. But overall, he put on a pretty good match with Cole Johnson. It was a very, very solid match. And at one point, it looked like Gen Z was setting Cole up for that package pile driver that I've seen him knock so many people out. I've seen him pin multiple people with this move. Colt able to use a little, I hate to call the rookie the veteran, use a little veteran smarts here, reverse out into a small package, and
Wow.
Colt Johnson picked up the W.
Do we have moderators so we can get him out of the chat?
Oh, the
Oh
ref was.
man, we do need to hire some moderators.
You definitely didn't kick out. I was definitely not paid off. Shoulders were down. 1, 2, 3, sir. Better luck next time. Tommy said you didn't kick out. He was watching on the live stream. So
there you go.
Multiple views. You didn't kick out. Great match though. I would definitely, I definitely love seeing Gen Z. He's always puts on a pretty good show, and Colt Johnson as well. Both these men did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
This next match, okay, Tony. This one I kind of watched a little bit because we talked about this guy. It was Violet Vance Desmond versus Victor Benjamin. Remember we talked? Victor Benjamin was the dude with the tattoo on his chest that looked like he came out of a video game.
Yes.
All right. This dude looks exactly like that in real life. Exactly like that.
That's ridiculous, man.
I was like he looked great. So, Victor Benjamin and Vance Desmond put on a great wrestling match out there. Very, very hard hitting, very technical.
I would call it almost a clinic, man, because like Vance Desmond, he's a veteran. He's been doing
Vance looked good last time I saw him.
Yeah, he's been doing it for years, and I mean, they really put on a great show for the audience.
Yeah, no, this was a great match. This one definitely, this is one of those ones that you can definitely be like, this is the one that was worth the price of admission, and it wasn't for a title. It wasn't, it was the third match on the card, and it's one of those. It's a sleeper match. It's a sleeper match. I'll call it that because it came out, and I won't say you didn't have high hopes for it, but yes, it's one of those matches. You're like, oh, these dudes are killers. They'll definitely, So Victor Benjamin, I would love to see him back. Definitely an asset to any, addition to any roster. The dude was good. Next match at 4 was a tag team match, which saw a new, force introduced into RSW. Misery Inc. taking on Saturday Night Special in tag team action. Look, Tim said it was my sleeper, and look, I called that. I said the same word, and I didn't even know that, so that's funny. Tim's in the chat. I need to know that big guy's name. What was that big guy's name towards the end of the match?
Oh, the guy that came out and busted it all up. Yep.
Saturday Night Special and Misery Inc. put on a great tag team match, back and forth. At one point, things got a little misconstrued, and Dee almost punched me because Misery Inc. tried to shove me in the way. So Dee said, "Who drove a Buick into the building and hit me in the face?" We're gonna talk about this giant of a man that just happened to insert himself at the end of the match, and that was Nicholas Baldwin. Dakota's in the chat as well. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Nicholas Baldwin. So like I said, great match going on. I got Troy Locke. I believe maybe it was V. Look, Nick in the chat. It was me. I believe it was V outside. V was outside fighting with Dee. Twist has Troy Locke locked in a sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. And then out of nowhere, this behemoth of a man just stands up and right hands him. I didn't see. I'm paying attention to the submission hold that's going on in the ring. Right. But this man inserted himself in the footage that I was shown later. He stands up, and next thing I know, he's at ringside telling Misery Inc. to pin him. Yeah. Misery Inc. able to pick up the W. It looks like Misery Inc. has found a new member. It looks like they found an enforcer. It looks like they have found a giant. And again, Dee in the chat, that shit hurt it. Yeah. So Dee Was laid out on the floor. I had to go out, check. I had no idea until, like I said, after the show, we find out that this man, Tim tells me, look, I have no idea where he comes from. So out of left field,
enforcer
to
here,
set up
shows
intermission. Yeah. that sets us into intermission where, all right, we've said this before, Tony. You've heard me say that the Golden Boys are over down there, and I'm talking over. All right, so normally, at a Christmas show, something like that, they're like, "Come on down, take a picture with your heavyweight champion."
Yes.
Not in Clarksburg, baby. Not in Clarksburg. Ladies and gentlemen, please come down to the ring and get a picture with your tag team champions, the Golden Boys. And let me tell you that every fan in attendance got up and stood in line. We had to extend intermission because people were still standing in line for pictures with the Golden Boys in the rings.
I thought they did that at the beginning. I thought we did that. That was at the.
I believe it was intermission.
I can't remember, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was wild. It was wrapped around the line was wrapped around the ring. I mean, I even wanted to get a photo, and I wasn't gonna wait in that line.
Yeah, it was reckless. Shout out to the concession workers at Harrison County Parks and Rec Department. Once again, they threw down.
Oh no,
they were great hot dogs.
Everybody
they were great hot dogs. I'm just gonna keep trying to keep it going. While
yeah.
Great.
Fill in for
great chili hot dogs. Actually capped off an exclusive hot dog day for us because we'll talk about that. I didn't forget, Vince. I make sure we're gonna bring that up. So yeah, Santa was there for intermission as well, and Santa had to wait because the Golden Boys were taking over the ring to get pictures with the fans. So again, shout out to Jonesy, shout out to Jimmy. The Golden Boys are killing it down there in West Virginia. It was wild, man. And then coming back straight out of intermission were the Golden Boys putting their tag team titles on the line against the Unappreciated. And I looked at Vince and I told him, because I talked about it last time, the pop that the Golden Boys get. Vince now has heard it. He has experienced it. In terms of indie pop, Vince, like that's up there for them down there. Like, when they're down there in West Virginia, the roof explodes off that place.
Echoed, it echoed off the glass. I mean, these people were straight up cheering for RJ Jonesy and Jimmy. It was great.
So it was wild. Great tag team match as always. The boys were able to successfully retain once again against the Unappreciated. So the reign continues for Jonesy and Jimmy. The Golden Boys are still on top. The next match we had was a fatal four-way to crown a new RSW Women's Champion. I didn't get to watch that much of this match. And this was another one where unfortunately we had a card subject to change. And one of the ladies wasn't able to make it. And Pegasus was not able to attend. Something happened. She wasn't there. But she was replaced by the shooting star, Mars Chris.
Hell yeah.
And let me tell you that finally getting to see Mars wrestle after so many years of watching them referee was just top notch. It's a totally different person in the ring.
Yep.
Great match, but doesn't take away from the other competitors here. Colby Max, RSW's reigning Women's Wrestler of the Year. Lexus Sin, and the debut of Ava Brooks. This match was solid, dude. This match was solid. Again, I was ecstatic with Mars. Mars did fantastic in her debut.
Agreed.
Ava did really good. Again, for our first time seeing her, she did really good.
Great cross body there. That Ava knocked out like two competitors in one shot.
Okay. I was gonna say I didn't know if you said something else and it cut us out.
Nope, we're just keeping it rolling, buddy.
Yeah.
We got you.
Ava,
but yeah, no. And then like you said,
Ava Brooks off the top with a double cross body. Lexus in the match as well, who we've seen just be an absolute monster,
especially to you.
Yeah,
that's right.
Socked me in the face, man, last time. So I was kind of thankful I didn't have to referee this one. I didn't have to get in the middle. Why? Look, it's not a ladder. You may turn my light on. He said, "Why do I have a ladder behind me?" It's not a ladder. It's a
always
shelf.
TLC. It's
I
always
got
TLC.
my sweet Rosie O'Donnell right here. I got my. Oh, Tony, this was my Secret Santa gift from Vince for the white elephant. I got Rosie O'Donnell here. Hold on.
Brenda Barbie.
Let's get her in here. She's
Okay.
she's top notch.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that is top notch.
Yeah, she's
Very nice.
Quality, guys. Quality. Vintage.
she's top notch. And then it's Piledriver podcast edition Shawn Michaels figure made for me by the one and only Colt Johnson. So yeah, they're on the shelf. I haven't got to take the rest of the shelf. I got some Pokeballs up there with my favorite Pokemon. There's my Spider-Man tree because it's Christmas time.
See, that's why I have this background, because this is not a good area. You got a good little background going.
Yeah, that's why I set this up on purpose.
I just have yellow wall.
You
You just have a cool background. Not allowed to go in there anymore.
Oh man! All right. So
we got news. Breaking news.
It's not breaking. That's not breaking news yet, but it's one of those glorious Piledriver exclusives that I get a text message of during the show. So we'll talk about that at the end of the match, or at the end of the show here. After this, like I said, the Fatal 4-Way Women's match. Great match all around.
Yep.
Lexis Sin able to come out on top as the new RSW Women's Champion. So congratulations going out to her. This next match. Okay. I know that at least one of them is still in the chat. Tyler was in the chat earlier. Anthony Rucker versus Tyler Jacks in a loser leaves RSW match. This was
amazing.
This was a great match. And I'm not just saying that because I got to ref it. This match was phenomenal. Had I been in the crowd, this match would have been got the same review. These boys have a freaking hatred for each other. They have a very, very disdain. They were once best friends. They were once tag team champions.
Okay.
And now they are very much bitter enemies. In the chat right now, Tyler says, "I'm still alive." Rucker says, "I'll fix that." Like, there's no love lost.
Get the moderators in here.
There's no love lost between these men.
No joke.
And everything was used in this match, Tony, from kendo sticks to chairs to thumbtacks to the Christmas tree decorations that were strewn about Clarksburg, Harrison County. This match was wild.
It was crazy.
At one point, again, didn't know who was going to win. Rucker was bleeding. Look, man, he did this like step up suplex off the top rope where he suplex jacks from the outside into the ring.
Right. Yeah.
Onto a bed of thumbtacks was a great.
Oh my god.
He also power bombed, or not? My bad. Wow, I should be fired. He pile drove Tyler Jacks right in front of Mike, and Mike's eyes, like it was like a cartoon. He was like, "Wow!" Like it was so good. Like I was like,
it was good. Like I said, this match was
Rucker put on. So did Tyler. Like it was a good match. Like these guys like really put on.
Oh my Lance! It's Christmas time, gentlemen.
Yeah, right.
Dang. You don't want that.
But yeah, this was a great match. It ended up, like I said, after this crazy suplex, Rucker locked in a sleeper, and Tyler tried to fight it. He tried to get out of it, but Rucker closed that airway off. He shut him down to the point Tyler passed out. I had to call a match. It was done. He was knocked out cold. It was game over. Rucker wins. Coda shows up. General manager. I don't know his official title of RSW, but he had a clean fucking suit on last night, by the way. Dakota had a clean freaking suit on, a candy cane suit, lit up in his whole night. Came out and had to tell Tyler that, he was fired. He was out of here. He had to leave the building, and I had to escort him out of the building.
Dang.
He's going in there. They jumped off. There was a table spot where they, broke the table. Rucker came off the top rope, threw the table on. Yeah. This match was top notch. And like I said, probably my favorite match on the card. The ladder, it was good, but this match went hard. So kudos to you. I'm glad to see both you boys are at least able to text you and use your fingers.
Yeah.
Get some rest.
Laying down somewhere. Yeah.
But I doubt this will be the last time we see the end of Tyler and Rucker. Because again, look at the chat right now. These guys, they're not fond of each other. It probably will not be at RSW unless they can work some kind of unsanctioned kind of match with Tim. But I'm sure you'll be able to check them out somewhere else. But as of right now, officially, Tyler Jacks has been released from RSW. And then to finish it off, I can't remember how he started it. Yeah, this is what Tim meant, I think. They started it with the promo. Tim called all the champions to the ring. Every champion that RSW has. The only one, unfortunately, wasn't in attendance was the internet champion, Matthew Taylor. But I'd venture to guess that that title's been vacated. Because come to find out that all RSW championships would be placed on the line in a ladder match as Ashton, Matt Connard, Benny Conley, Logan Taylor, and who else? There was one other one. Kryzak, because he was Kryzak with the Eastern Continental Champion. All came out, all had to relinquish their titles and put them on the line, and the winner of the main event in a ladder match would be the total RSW champion. This match was crazy.
Hard. Yeah, these guys fought hard.
So, Tony, we had, we saw at the last show at Night of Champions, we saw a six-way or, a 5-team ladder match.
Yeah.
This is just, it essentially was like a Money in the Bank, man.
Got it.
It was okay.
People would be climbing up, getting torn off, getting thrown around the ring, like
springboards.
Pretty much
so. Yeah. I mean, the ladder spot in this ones were crazy. We're good. Yeah, we're powering through. I don't know. But all titles were on the line. At one point, I don't remember what had happened. I know Ashton jumped off the top of a ladder. There was Kryzak got double suplexed. Just everything was involved, and these dudes went crazy. Towards the end of the match, I was yanked. I was done for the night. I was done. I had no more matches for the evening. I was done. I was getting ready to change. The boogeyman of RSW, Theo Strong, grabs me by the collar and yanks me out of the curtain and tells me that he wants to cash in his Fuzzfest championship, which guarantees him a title shot at any time. So he inserted himself into this match. He grabbed the Ultra Star, who was the only man in the ring, and hit him with a nasty twist brain buster.
Yeah.
Climbed up the ladder and grabbed the title.
Like this. Boom.
Theo Strong is your ultimate RSW champion. The only title in RSW that he does not hold is the tag team titles and the women's title. Every other RSW championship now belongs to Theo Strong.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
We can only wait to see what the plan is. We can only wait to see what Tim does. We can only wait to see next year. And that's the beauty of the dad joke there, because it's next year and it's like next week. But and now here's the beauty. Here's that thing that we got now. So RSW's next event, January 11th. We're right back there. We're right back at Harrison County Parks and Rec. We're right back at Clarksburg, West Virginia. 7 p.m. The Golden Boys will be putting their tag team titles on the line against Smash and Burn. Vince, I know you know familiar, and Tony, you might not know the team name. I know the team name. I cannot remember his partner's name. But one guy, Tony, we are very familiar with in Smash and Burn. His name is Junie Underwood.
All right.
I cannot for the life of me remember Junie's tag team partner's name. It's killing me right now because it's on the tip of my tongue, and I know Tim's going to say it, and I'm going to be like, yep. But I've seen Smash and Burn posting all kinds of clips lately. They have been making the rounds. They are coming from all over, state to state. Big fan of Junie Underwood since he was Butler Boy at Mega Championship Wrestling years and years and years ago. So for Junie to come in and Smash and Burn to come in and challenge the Golden Boys, this is a huge test for them at RSW Reset. January 11th, tickets not needed. It's a free show. If you're in Clarksburg, West Virginia, get down there. Get to Harrison County Parks and Rec. The doors, I believe, open at 6 is what the poster says. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's a free event. The food's cheap, real good. You know, you're just getting a good time out of, Harrison County. Like, they're just giving it to you for free, so definitely get there.
Ricky Price.
Is that what Tim said in the chat?
Ricky Price, yes.
Junie Underwood.
Yes, and Laura in here said that the doors open at 6. So doors open at 6. The event starts at 7. It's a free event, man. If you're down in West Virginia, we're going. We'll be there. So check it out. Get down there. It's great wrestling down there at Real Shoot Wrestling. And then that is on the 11th. And then the very next week, RSW is bringing their talents to Parma, Ohio for Parmageddon 2, where we will get the main event of the King versus the God. I cannot wait.
Hyped for that.
January in RSW is already looking like it's going to be phenomenal. So,
hell yeah.
Can't wait for that. And then, I got one more thing I want to talk about before we move on from our Saturday adventures. So Saturday started, right, Tony? It was just going to be me and Vince. We were just going to drive. We were just going to go down. We were just going to head. All right. We talked to a certain good pastor.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up joining the car ride with us. We talked to a certain referee / wrestler and JP, and they ended up riding with us. We ended up packing the Kia Soul for a traditional old school wrestling road trip, and it was phenomenal. That's number 1. Number 2 is while we were waiting on Mars and JP, Vince introduced us to a little place called Jib Jab Hot Dog Shop in Girard, Ohio. And let me tell you, Stabby Vince was on point with the Jib Jab, chili cheese dogs, chili cheese fries. We smashed before we left. We smashed. So Saturday, the food was good and the wrestling was even better.
One thing that sucked was the drive.
It was just top notch. Saturday was real, real good. So yeah, Tim, everything was awesome. Thank you again for a great show.
Thanks for having us.
We even had the Grinch. The Grinch was even there. I forgot that the Grinch showed up at the beginning of the show to try to ruin it.
Oh, that's fun.
So the Grinch was there. It just all around top-notch show. Shout out to everybody involved. The boss lady is in the chat, so shout out to her. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to RSW. Everybody was very hospitable to us as always, and can't wait to come back and hang out with you guys. So
most definitely.
We will catch you guys soon in 2025. And yeah, the Grinch. I didn't know if I was allowed to say that Dean was out there as the Grinch. Tim's son was out there dressed in the Grinch. I'm trying to keep it alive, Tim. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so all in all, this was a top-notch show from RSW, and I can't wait for the next one. It's going to be a blast. And then moving on to Saturday, we get home 3:30 in the morning, Vince. We get home 3:30.
3:30, yeah, about that.
Tim says, Tony, join if you can. So if you want, January 11th, Tony, we can pile driver it down. That's totally cool. But yeah, we got home about 3:30 in the a.m. and we had to be at Tommy's at 10.
Yeah. Yes.
So yes, we got up. We drove. I got to Vince's house about 9:30. I had to get home, and on top of that, because I worked last night, I refereed a show. I was nice and sweaty. I had to wash my gear when I got home. So I got home and I had to do a quick load of laundry. So I didn't get in bed until about 4, and I was up at 8, ready to go to Vince's, get ready to go back to Vince's. We get to Tommy's, we travel down. It is, again, another full car ride road trip with, the BBC, Colt Johnson, Vito Mozzarella, me and Stabby Vince driving down to Powerslam Pro Wrestling.
Like you had to wash your balls.
Oh yeah, well I did that too, but I had to wash my gear. Like I had to wash my
gear
pants,
was more important than the balls.
Yeah, that's true too.
At the same time, like separately, but you know what I mean.
Wait, I was just saying. Wait, you're the same. Then your gear's gonna smell like your balls.
We got down to Powerslam Pro Wrestling, and I know Vince has been down there a few times, going down with Tommy and Colt and stuff, and he's told me about it, and I want to say that it was pretty freaking cool. Tony, I don't know, again, I know you're up there from the Sandusky area, so I assume that the mall. We have a mall here, okay, that has nothing in it. It's a dead mall now. But back in the day, it used to be busted. Like it was pop all the time.
Right.
Imagine walking through your mall, Tony, and one of the shop fronts just has the door open, that little grate open, and there's 50 seats and a wrestling ring inside of it.
Sick. I would love it.
That's exactly how Powerslam Pro Wrestling is at was it Newtown Mall, I believe, in
Newton Mall, something like that.
Yeah, Newtown Mall or something in New Philadelphia, Ohio, and the venue is really, really cool. I mean, obviously you're in a mall, so there's chicken teriyaki and a pretzel place over there. That, so it was top notch.
I got shopped.
Let's say Tommy and Vince went a little shopping while we were doing, match stuff in the back. Cool. And then I went over to a little coffee shop that Vince showed me that I got some cinnamon sugar pretzel with like a little caramel cheese.
Yeah,
caramel cheese.
It was like filling, and then he had like some crazy red velvet
at Powerslam. I love that everybody.
That's all right.
Yeah, yeah. I got to meet Denise as well. If you're not familiar by the last name, if you couldn't tell, that is Mars's mom. So it's cool to meet Mars's mom. I got to meet Mars's mom. I was a little more excited about that than she was, I think, but it was still because it was pretty cool. But yeah, the venue was really great, man. The wrestling was cool. I love the character work that is essentially a forefront at Powerslam. That's the character work is what they thrive on. The audience is very small, so it's the fire code, whatever, the limit, the capacity of the room is only so much. So when it's full, you have to be able to work that crowd. And there's these fans that Vince was telling me they're there every other show, and they're every show, and they are in it.
They know
they are. Very good job by all the wrestlers today in doing that crowd work and working that, again, it's hard to work a small crowd, Tony, you've been there. If there's only certain, and it's not like it's small because they couldn't sell tickets. Again, it was at capacity for the room. So it worked though. The venue worked. They had merch. They had a couple of, I did see in the back, Vince, they had a D'Lo Brown Bendham, and I was like, hey, D'Lo, that's funny. I got to do a couple first. I got to ref an I Quit match today between JP Levin and Mr. Crowley. And let me tell you, Tony, this match, there was some wild stuff used in this match. Okay,
Mr. Crowley.
There was a candy cane. Those candy canes you stick in your front yard?
Yeah.
Yep, those got used. One of them, got broken over JP's back.
And ended up flying into the crowd and hitting a kid.
Yep.
Oh no.
We made sure she was okay. We made sure that she was okay.
Oh, good.
Earlier before that, I don't mean to gloss over it. We did get to see Mars finally, stand up to the bullying that they've been, taken in the ring, and they dropped Colt Johnson in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
Wow.
At that point, Yeah, at that point, general manager Sid comes out. What are you doing? You're the senior official. You can't put your hands on a wrestler. Mars rips the shirt off, throws it down the middle of the ring, and says, "I quit."
Yep. Done. D-U-N, done.
Mars quits Powerslam Pro Wrestling. Sid tells me, "Fine, you quit. Get the hell out of my building." So I'm tasked with the task. Right. I am tasked to get Mars out of the building now. So I had to escort them out the back door.
Go if she doesn't like how she's being treated there. Yeah, exactly.
So again, but at the point when Mars decided to leave, Evelyn Sage followed him out and gave up on the match. Dio Salvador climbed on top of Cole Johnson and picked up the victory.
Retain that heritage title.
The Powerslam Heritage Championship. Then, like I said, JP and Mr. Crowley. And so this is another spot I wanted to talk about this. And Vince probably liked this spot as well because it was very unusual and it was very on point.
Yeah.
So, again, character work is a very big thing.
Right.
Tony, so normally when somebody grabs a bag and they kind of shake it and it's got that metal sound, you know what it is. It's a nice bag of thumbtacks.
Nice type.
He grabbed this bag and I because again, this is an I Quit match. Anything can happen. I assume that's what it's going to be. And was it JP that dumped it out, Vince?
Yeah.
JP dumps it out and it was a bag of jingle bells.
Literal.
Oh,
it was a really cool spot, man. It was a really cool spot.
It gets even better because at this moment, JP, I believe, was it a suplex? Did he suplex him into him?
Yep.
So, like Mike said, this is an I Quit match. Mr. Crowley gets suplexed into the jingle bells. JP tells Mike, ask him. And Mike takes the microphone, gives it to Mr. Crowley, goes, "What do you say, Mr. Crowley?" And instead of saying, "I give up," he says, "Jingle bells, jingle bells." And we just assumed that was a no. So
yeah, it was a good pop. It was a great job by him.
That's
so again, great spot, man. It was a great spot. The spot all around. A stun gun was introduced at one point.
Yeah.
And JP caught one to the chest. And then eventually Mr. Crowley handcuffs JP to the corner onto the ring ropes and goes under the ring, Tony, and pulls out a frickin' katana. Like he was about to,
skewer.
JP Levin was done, son. And at this point, JP had no choice but to utter the words, "I quit." Come to find out, that was not what Mr. Crowley wanted at all. He wanted an apology from JP. So when JP said, "I quit," Mr. Crowley told me, "No, the match is not over. That's not what I want to hear." JP said, "I'm sorry." And Mr. Crowley sheathed his blade and asked for the bell to be rung because at that point the match was over.
That's all I wanted.
Mr. Crowley's freaking crazy. All right, let's just get that out of the way right now.
Seems that way.
I saw the man eat two big shots to the head with a baking sheet, and he just took it.
Just took it. The third one took him down, but
asked for more. You know what I'm saying? But
pretty sure I saw him eat a cockroach too, or something like that.
Yes. And then last but most certainly not least, the Powerslam 24/7. I believe it's called the Anywhere Championship. The Powerslam Anywhere Championship was on the line in a 1v1 match with TJ Dynamite going against Jimmy Jammer.
All right.
Lumberjack match, actually. And before the match started, before I was able to get these men in the ring, Sid called out the goons as they come running out. And Jimmy and Truck Morris and a couple other people, they come running out and they just start wailing on Jammer. Just Sean Blaze, they're just beating him down. Here to save the day comes Bouncer and RJ Jonesy and Mr. Crummels, and they come out and help clear the ring so that we can finally get this match started. I got everybody surrounded, separated around the ring as lumberjacks. Very early on in this match, Jimmy catches a headbutt and gets busted open. Tony, I'm talking leaking. He was leaking.
Wow.
And this match went on, and these dudes gave it their all. But again, you got to remember, this is a 24/7 anywhere championship, which means anybody can win at any time as long as there is a referee present. At one point, Drew the Werewolf Starter slid in the ring and rolled up Jimmy Jammer for the 1, 2, 3. He was crowned the new anywhere champion. 10 seconds later,
oh no,
TJ Dynamite and Jimmy Jammer collectively roll Drew the Werewolf up for the 1, 2, 3. At this point, they're both trying to say they're champions. I'm trying to maintain a little bit of order as they're fighting over this belt. And I try to get it out and say that we're going to restart this match. We're going to have a definitive winner. They're going to be a co-champion. And as I'm snatching the belt away, they both let go. The belt, I caught the metal right to the head. Knocked my glasses off. Knocks me out. I'm laying there. I have no idea what happened. I know that when I started to stir and I woke up, not only were both men in the ring down, every lumberjack around the ring was also on their backs. It was at this point that the other official for Powerslam Pro Wrestling, Dagan, decided it was time to take his shot, Tony.
He shot a shot.
He slides in the ring. He covers TJ Dynamite. Sure? I go down to count 1. TJ kicks out. Jammer. Dagan goes over. He tries to get on Jammer. He covers him. 1. Jammer kicks out.
Yep.
They both kind of sit up and look at him. And Dagan goes, I tried, and jumps out of the ring immediately. He wanted nothing to do with this. He tried. Kudos to the man for giving his shot.
You shoot some shots sometimes in life.
Drew in the chat saying he's going to get that title back. And then last but most, I saved it for last because, he is one of the boys. But this match was finished. It was won by TJ Dynamite after a crazy, crazy spot where he just essentially knocked Jammer out, was able to roll him up and get that 1, 2, 3. And then last but most certainly not least, in the beginning match of the night, to start the card off, Norm came out and accused one of the new Powerslam wrestlers on the roster of breaking into his house and violating his mother.
Ooh.
Was that? I thought it just got beat up. I thought Norm just got beat up. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, they beat up Norm, robbed the house. I didn't mean in that kind of violation. I apologize.
Okay.
But violated the sanctity of his residence. He violated the sanctity of his residence, invited himself in, beat up Norm, and Norm had no idea who it was, so he decided he was going to call somebody out. He called out none other than Vito Mozzarella.
The pasty gangster.
The pasty gangster shows up, pleads his case, says that it wasn't him, but the challenge has already been laid out. We are going to have us a one-on-one match. It comes down to the point where we have us a Mexican standoff, like in The Office, where Vito had his gun out, Norm had his gun out, to the point where Dagan had to pull his guns out and tell him to get back to the match.
Yeah, obviously.
We needed a winner. As that happens, Vito Mozzarella was able to get the roll up, get the secure, and pick up his very first singles victory, very first wrestling victory, very first W for my man Vito Mozzarella.
Wow.
So Vito Mozzarella, after months and months of losses on Turmoil, after months and months of losses at shows, Vito Mozzarella finally has a tick in the win column.
I'm not sure if I'm happy, but I'm not happy.
So, we shall see what happens from here. with Vito Mozzarella. Powerslam Pro Wrestling will be back in January. I believe it's the 5th.
Yeah, it is the 5th.
He's not super sure. It is the 5th. Okay.
In New Philadelphia. I'm not sure the name on that show yet. I don't know if they do everyone. Do they do everyone like a bro?
Yeah, I think it's every other Sunday.
Okay.
Is it just every other? Is it just called Brawl at the Mall every time? Just.
Oh, and I don't know if they continually call it. It might be though. I think that's the one I went to was Brawl at the Mall as well. So.
Yeah. So okay. I mean, and that's even if they were called, that's fine. It's essentially mega turmoil every Thursday night. And,
yeah, exactly.
And then Denise said yes. Sunday. So Alec in the chat said it's because Vito got the Cole Johnson rub. That's why he's a winner now.
Definitely got a rub, all right.
And then Tommy, I do want to say this too, because this was very, very ironic. In Colt's first win of his career, he also defeated Norm in his first win. So for the Southern Center in training, he is essentially following the Colt Johnson game plan.
Yeah. Interesting.
So we can only see how this plays out for the young guy. But, Powerslam was awesome.
The boss
RSW was awesome. And Tony, I know you can go back and watch it, but overall for the weekend, Vince, I'm rating the whole weekend.
You're rating the whole weekend? Okay.
5. I'm talking wrestling, road trips, food, fun times, 5.
That's a packed weekend.
It's a packed weekend. I'll give it the same for sure. Definitely could use a little more sleep, but that's I can sleep when I'm bed.
That's right. I mean, and shout out to Vince. Shout out to Vince for braving the drive. I appreciate you, brother, so much. And shout out to RSW Tim, the boss lady, Harrison County Parks and Rec. Shout out to Powerslam Pro Wrestling, Newtown Mall in New Philadelphia. Shout out to Brent, everybody over there. We appreciate you guys all so much, and we can't wait to see you guys in the new year. I got one more announcement. The last show of the year. You can catch at least me, Vince. I'm not sure if Vince is going to make it. I don't know if Tony's going to make it, but you can catch me down in Indiana at Battle on the Border on December 31st, where none other than my very own personal head trainer, Mr. Brandon Xavier, will be going one-on-one with the franchise Shane Douglas.
I'm going to try.
That's how I'll be bringing in my new year. I cannot wait for that. And then, last, I do want to ask this, guys. I need some moments from you guys. It is the end. It's our last show. Give me a moment. Let's go. We'll go around. Give me 1 or 2 moments that have just stood out this year to you guys. Something that's impacted you. Something that's made you feel happy to be a part of this wrestling journey.
You go first, Vince.
I can easily say one of the most heartwarming moments I had with all of you guys, and this is probably the most perfect moment I can say, is when Tommy Dreamer came out at Neo Pro and he made the rounds and he walked all the way around, stopped, gave both you guys high fives, and I was right there in the middle with my hand up, and he shook his head, nope, put his arms out, and I got that big old hug. Because not only did I get that hug from Tommy, but I got to share that moment with you guys. So that was definitely like top moment of my year this year, guys.
Tony, what you got?
I genuinely was gonna say that same night meeting Tommy Dreamer, and that night with hanging out with you guys, and honestly just being able to be a part of the podcast. And I went from my in-ring stuff to all behind the scenes this year, and so that switch was difficult. So this has been a real fun time for me.
Good. It's definitely great to have you, Tony.
Yeah, man. Great to be here.
Oh yeah, we definitely love to have you, man. You've been a fucking amazing asset to the podcast. I can't wait to, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I can't wait to show all these people what you've done next year. So, like,
Dude,
next year
I'm
we're coming back,
totally
and so
done,
it's
but-
going to be top notch. Make sure you stick around
Yeah.
with the Piledriver podcast in 2025 because we're going to be doing big things. So I have two for this year. And so like at the beginning of the year, starting on 1/13/24, I started making a list, and you can't really see it because it's phone screen kind of right there. It's a big list, of everything I've done, events I've went to, who I've went to them with,
I remember you said that.
who came with me, who was who we rode with, whatever, where we were, what city it was in, etc., etc. I got 39 total. So I almost made it to it, and I didn't count turmoils. Like a turmoil isn't on this list, except for one, and that's one of my favorite memories of the year. But turmoils are not on this list. But events, I made it to 39 events this year. That's almost one a week.
Yep.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
There's 52 weeks in a year. I was 12 weeks off, so 3 months. But the other 9 months, I made it to a show every week. But
Damn.
where's it at here? May 16th, 2024. Thursday night turmoil, the Wheel of Destiny. I got to make my referee debut for Mega Championship Wrestling.
Oh wow.
Very big moment for me
this
this year.
year?
So I'm very here for having some faith in me and putting me in that position. And then that was my ref debut was May 16th, 2024
Wow.
on Turmoil.
This year's been
When
nuts.
Satch got called into the wheel, Satch got called on the wheel, and they said, well, who's going to ref the match? And I came from commentary and ripped my shirt off and had a referee shirt on underneath, and that was my very first
That's
match.
Right. Man, this year's
And then 2 weeks later, we got Colossal Con, which was my debut in front of a live audience. But then my other favorite memory was from this year, Neo Pro Endgame. I took a picture from what once turned from 3 of us sitting in a fucking section to just sitting front row in this little corner to the Piledriver section. There was 15 of us, dog, and it was great. Our kids were there. We joined up with like Tommy, Colt, Dean was there. Frank and Leanne, like we were squatted up, and that was top notch for me. So I want to thank you guys for everything that you guys do to help me with the podcast. As we do as a team, going to shows, hanging out, production meetings. Those are the best.
Meetings.
We
gotta figure stuff out, man.
Top notch, man. Top notch. Drew in the chat shouted out his moments, so we're gonna go ahead and give Drew some love. Memorial Day weekend, he made his wrestling debut. I know Drew trained real hard for a long time to be able to make that debut, so I was real proud of him for that. I knew Drew from OCW commentary booth is where I first met Drew. Probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. So getting to see him and actually getting to referee a match of his today was a big highlight for me. That was really cool. And then today, winning his first championship, getting to be a part of that. Again, I met this dude 5 years ago with the hammer in a commentary booth at OCW. And today I counted the 1, 2, 3 for him to win his first championship. Although he only held it for 10 seconds. It counts.
That's still
it
cool.
counts.
Yeah. He gets the
So I want to, again, last but most certainly not least, I want to thank everybody in the chat. Everybody that's not in the chat tonight, that has been in the chat for weeks and weeks and weeks. To everybody that shares our shit, all of our wrestling family that shares everything we post, that shares and goes out of their way to support us the way we supported them. We appreciate y'all. We can't. That's all I can really say. I got no more words for it other than that. Stay on the lookout. 2025. We will be taking the next couple weeks off, but January 5th, we will be coming back right here with a brand new season of the Piledriver podcast.
Let's go.
So
you know it.
For the boys down low, for Vince next to me, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. We will see all of you in 2025. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Night, y'all.
Later.